It all started with a spark of excitement when Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni teamed up for the film It Ends With Us. Two beloved figures in Hollywood, they seemed poised for a cinematic success that fans couldn't wait to watch. But behind the scenes, tensions were brewing long before the cameras rolled. What appeared to be a promising collaboration soon erupted into a high-stakes legal battle filled with accusations, counterclaims, and questions about who was really at fault. Within weeks of wrapping principal photography, everything took a sharp turn. In December 2024, Blake filed a complaint alleging inappropriate behavior on set. She painted a picture of lengthy shoots where spontaneous, intimate scenes were improvised without her consent, along with unwelcome comments she felt created a hostile work environment. She described leaving set each day exhausted not just from the demanding schedule, but from constant unease that left her emotionally on edge. Justin fired back quickly with a $400 million countersuit accusing Blake of defamation and civil extortion. He labeled her allegations as nothing more than a personal vendetta, calling her claims baseless. In a move that startled many, he also targeted a major news outlet after they published parts of her complaint. He claimed their coverage fueled the media frenzy, multiplying the reputational damage he believed was done to his career. From that point on, the public wanted every detail: the court documents, the text messages, and the depositions. As the lawsuits grew in scope, both sides found themselves under an unforgiving spotlight. Every photograph of Blake, every video of Justin, and every whisper from industry insiders amplified the drama. Production staff from It Ends With Us were called to speak about what really happened during those intimate filming moments. Some described a friendly set with normal filmmaking challenges. Others insinuated there was tension in the air whenever Blake and Justin were asked to perform physically close scenes. Then came the request for a protective order. Blake and her attorneys insisted on keeping some of the most sensitive material under wraps. They argued it was vital to preserve the privacy of high-profile individuals who had only peripheral roles in the story. The judge mostly agreed, granting an order that classifies certain documents as confidential or attorney's eyes only. Everyone knew this would keep salacious details buried at least until trial. Yet the judge also hinted that anything presented in open court could become public. In other words, the real fireworks might erupt later. Justin's legal team responded confidently. He claimed the protective order was narrower than what Blake initially wanted, emphasizing that his defense never relied on private mental health records or anything irrelevant. For them, what mattered were the text messages and emails that, in their view, could debunk Blake's allegations and show she had no qualms during filming. Meanwhile, Blake's spokesperson heralded the protective order as a necessary safeguard so they could proceed without risk of personal communications leaking out. Just when it seemed this legal face-off couldn't get any more intense, a new piece of the puzzle emerged. A 90-minute documentary titled He Said, She Said, Blake Lively vs. Justin Baldoni. Set to air first in the UK, then in a shorter version on streaming platforms in the US, this film promises a deep dive into every angle of the controversy. Its creators sifted through rumors, online debates, and raw behind-the-scenes footage that found its way onto the internet. They even interviewed an intimacy coordinator, someone not involved in It Ends, with Usto analyzed text messages and on-set interactions. That coordinator offered a surprising perspective. Early messages hinted at genuine trust between the two stars. Then came the claims about Blake trying to dodge kiss scene, something the coordinator saw as a considerate way to set boundaries without embarrassing anyone. A snippet of raw footage reportedly showed Blake pivoting a scene into dialogue to avoid on-camera kissing. While Justin may have interpreted that as intrusion on his directing process, the coordinator suggested it was simply Blake's tactful method of drawing a line. Meanwhile, another lister's name surfaced: Ryan Reynolds. Though no one expected him to be directly linked to this legal warfare, Justin's lawsuit named him too. The accusation? Ryan allegedly called Baldoni a predator in private conversations, which Justin claims turned Hollywood against him behind the scenes. Ryan's legal team fired back that Private Opinion 7 harsh ones aren't defamatory unless proven to be knowingly false. They insisted there was no malice, and that if Ryan truly believed Justin's behavior was problematic, it doesn't meet the legal threshold for defamation. All of these swirling claims and counterclaims build toward the upcoming trial, scheduled for March 2026. In the entertainment world, that date feels both far away and far too soon. The clock is ticking as both sides gather more evidence and brace for a sensational court showdown. Some speculate that if certain documents are entered into the record, they might expose personal details no one expected to see. The sense that Hollywood's inner workings could be laid bare creates even more curiosity and anxiety for the parties involved. Observers say this case could be a defining moment in both stars' careers. Blake may risk losing the squeaky clean public persona she's cultivated if Justin's narrative prevails. Justin, on the other hand, has staked his reputation on proving her claims to be an exaggeration or outright fabrication. If he fails, he could lose not just the case but also lucrative deals and future film projects. No matter which side you believe, or if you're still on the fence, there's no denying the stakes are sky high. Audiences are left wondering if the documentary will provide clarity or simply stir the pot with more conflicting perspectives. As these revelations surface, fans and critics alike are torn between sympathy for Blake's allegations of on-set discomfort and curiosity about Justin's insistence that the accusations are wholly manufactured. Sooner or later, a jury may decide whose story holds the most weight. Until then, the legal twists keep coming, the documentary hype builds, and both stars remain under a magnifying glass. In Hollywood, big names and bigger egos can often lead to explosive situations, but this one has taken on a life of its own, complete with multi-million-dollar claims and private text messages splashed across headlines. Will the trial in 2026 be the final word, or is there a settlement lurking behind closed doors? The only sure thing is that everyone's watching, and any new detail could send this case spinning in another direction. Until we get answers, fans can only speculate. Did Blake speak out to protect herself and other actors? Or is there more to Justin's accusation that her story doesn't line up with the facts? Share your thoughts below. Will you tune into the documentary when it hits streaming services? And do you think this legal storm will end with a dramatic courtroom revelation, or quietly settle long before that March 2026 date arrives? No matter where you stand, this is one Hollywood drama that shows no sign of slowing down.